Welcome and hello. This is a support video in HEC ResSim, and I've titled this video Multiple Rivers Feeding a Reservoir. So I got a question from one of the viewers about how to draw a reservoir with two tributaries. And what I'm going to explain in this video is how I can have a reservoir network where two rivers flow into a reservoir. And also after that, I'll demonstrate how a reservoir can have two rivers flowing out of it. So let's go ahead and get started. What I have on the screen is my HEC ResSim. I've just opened up a new project and I am in the watershed setup module. I'm going to click the stream alignment tool and then hold down control and just do some single left clicks in the direction of the flow. And then before my last click, I'm going to let go of the control key, one final left click, and boom, it's asking me to name my river or my stream. I'll call this River A. All right, that's ready to go. This is called a stream alignment. After that, I'm going to sketch in a second river or a stream. It's going to end at this existing stream alignment for River A. So I'm going to call this River B now that I'm sketching. Hold down Control, single left click, and then I'll just give it a little bit of curvature. And then finally, let go of Control, and then a single left click on that River A. I'm going to call this River B, and then click OK. It's asking me now, do I want to connect River A with River B? The answer is yes. All right, and now I have this junction right here, and then stream nodes at the other ends of the rivers here. Sticking with the watershed setup, I next want to add some computation points. This is just my personal preference to add computation points at the far ends of upstream and downstream ends of my stream alignment. So I'll call that CP1. I'm going to hold down Control, single left click on the stream alignment, CP2. And then I'm going to sketch in the reservoir before adding a final computation point. So click on the reservoir. And then what I'm going to do is hold down Control, single left click on the first upstream river, that's River A, and then continue holding down Control, single left click on the other upstream river, River B, boom. And then I can now let go of Control and single left click downstream of the junction, which will serve as the location of the dam face. And single left click, boom. We'll call this Reservoir A. And here is the reservoir as it's sketched out. It automatically added in 3 more computation points, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to click computation point and add myself a CP6 down here at the bottom. Okay. Next, what I may want to do, just to make this diagram look a little bit more realistic, is to click on the reservoir button and then, zoom in a little bit if you want. And I want to reshape this reservoir pool right now. So we have the reservoir reach, the reservoir pool. This starts me off as a triangle, and then the dam face here. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's a very light gray line that's sketched sort of as if it's the dam face. And all of these colors and symbology we can modify, but I'm just going to stick with the default for now. All right, so double click on the triangle itself, and you should see the blue vertex points sort of light up. So now I can drag that around. See, I'm dragging the vertex points. There is a label here that says Reservoir A. I'm going to move the label to the side for now. It's up there. And then use this top point. I can go ahead and just drag it to either side. Let's just move it right here. And most importantly, we can add and remove these vertex points. So hold down Control and then single left click on the edge. See, it's adding points, and then let go of Control. Now I can move those points around to give the lake or the reservoir a little bit of shape, which may more accurately depict what the shape of the reservoir looks like. All right, let me add some vertex points over here. Let's move this one right up here. I'm going to add a few here. So anyway, that's probably not that realistic. It'd probably be a little bit more rounded, right? Also, we can remove these vertex points. So for instance, if I added one and it's way out here and I just want to remove it, hold down Control and Shift, single left click, boom, it's gone. So anyway, that's how that works. All right. So to save the edits, I'm going to just go File, Save Watershed. And as for editing the reservoir, there's not a whole lot we can do here. If I click Edit the Reservoir Editor button, Edit Reservoir, what we can do is, give it a description, change the label position, and then a couple of checkboxes here. But the actual reservoir editing takes place in the Reservoir Network module. So let's go ahead and move over there and create a network. File, Save the watershed, and then reservoir network for our module. We have the stream alignment on screen, but we need to create a network based on the configuration. So let me go back and create a configuration and put this project in that configuration, because right now by default all I have is study. Watershed configuration new. Okay. Okay, cool. So it looks like it automatically put that Reservoir A project in the configuration. I'm just going to select the date. Any date is fine for this. And looks like we are good. So if I wanted to check the configuration editor, we are good there with our project. Okay. File, save the watershed. Now the reservoir network, we're ready to create a network. I'll just call it network one. And then for configuration, this is where we want to select config one and then click on new. All right. So there is our reservoir. And just to be complete, I like to sketch in the reaches so that our network is connected. Okay. To do that, click on the reach tool and then hold down control, single left click on the upstream junction, and then let go of control, single left click on the next adjacent downstream junction, and boom, you can give that reach a name, or like I'm doing, just click OK and accept the default name. All right, there's nothing really fancy about this reservoir. For instance, if we go ahead and edit the properties, what you're seeing here is a reservoir icon with a pool and a dam. Everything else is the same. Having two upstream flows just means you probably want to have assign some local inflows to both of these junctions. All right, so the second part of the support video is sort of the opposite, where we have split flow, meaning we have one river that flows into a reservoir, and then we have two rivers that flow out of the reservoir, in which case we're going to have two dam faces, which we would assign outlet structures to. So let's go back to the watershed setup module. And yes, I do want to save the network, so I forgot to do that, but looks like it's saved. And we're going to continue editing on our config one. Let's click a stream alignment and then just hold down the control key again and then make some single left clicks. Okay, let go of control and then a final left click. I'll call this river, what are we on, C now? River D will start right here. I'm going to hold down control, a single left click, and then let go of control and boom. I do get this question dialog box. It's asking me, do I want to connect these two rivers, C and D? The answer is yes. Now we're going to add a computation point. We're up to what, 7? All right. And then click on reservoir. Let's add our reservoir. Now this time I'm going to hold down the control button. Let's single left click on the upstream river, the upstream river C upstream of the reservoir. And then I'm going to continue holding down the control button and just do a single left click. And then now before my final click, I'll let go of control and click on the downstream river of the reservoir, which will have its own dam face. And that will go right there. All right. This is going to be called Reservoir B. And this looks a little bit wonky. So we still have the gray dam face line right here and right here. So it recognizes that they're both downstream. That's good. However, the little blue triangle just happens to be at one location. So again, this is a situation where we probably want to reshape this blue triangle. To do that, I'll click on reservoir. It's already selected. Double click on this reservoir. I'm going to move the label aside for reservoir B, and then I'm going to grab one of the vertex points and move it up here. And now I'm going to just add a number of vertex points. I'm holding down control. Now I'm letting go of control and I'm going to move it around. And then let's add some more vertex points here. I'll just move this like here perhaps. And I can add some more here. Let's add a few on this edge here and then call it good. You get the idea. Now, if I had an aerial photo in the background, then that could assist me to actually give this reservoir lake a more realistic shape based on what it looks like in real life. Okay, let me move the label a little bit closer and we are good here. So let's click the arrow pointer tool to stop editing, file, save watershed. Now, one last time, let's go back to the reservoir network module. And as you can see, we don't have any of the second reservoir, reservoir B, that we sketched in. That's not a problem. I can go up to network and then update network from configuration, because we were editing and saving that second reservoir in our config one configuration. Okay, this is a confirmation. Yes, I'm sure. Boom, here is the reservoir. Oops, I forgot to add the downstream computation points. That's all right. But what I wanted to show before we finish up here is just to right click on the reservoir, edit reservoir properties. And now you see over here in the left panel, we have reservoir B, we have the pool for the reservoir geometry, a dam face that feeds river C, and then a second dam face that feeds river D, each of which can have their own outlet structures like uncontrolled outlet, controlled outlet, power plant, pumps, and so on. All right, so that's it for this support video in ResSim. What we did was demonstrate how to sketch a reservoir where we have two upstream rivers feeding into the reservoir, and then after that, where one river feeds into the reservoir and there are multiple downstream rivers leaving that reservoir.